Hey everybody. Welcome to the show, everyone. This is Mike with Door and Lock Tips. As you guessed it, we're going to have a great show today. It's going to be on hard key impressioning. We're going to use files, and I'm going to show you exactly how to impression a key with a great tool. This is from Framon, F-R-A-M-O-N, and they make this beautiful key vise, which you crank down on the key, and then you take a file and you impression the depths of the key. Now, I've already prepped the keys so that they have the correct spaces. So if you have a key machine, I highly suggest you cut zeros, or the shallowest cut you can make on a key of all the spaces on the key. That will help you tremendously in the impressioning effort. But if you don't have that, I'll show you a way you can do it without it. So I'm going to use a cutaway lock. Why the pins give an impression or a rub mark on the key. So let's get into the show. You're going to love it. But first we're going to get a close-up of this tool from Framon. Yeah. So here's the tool made by Framon Manufacturing. You can get it on the internet. It's nicely knurled, all anodized. You unloosen the end here, and that removes the key quite simply. You do not touch those set screws. They have pointed set screws like an Allen type setup, and they barb themselves into the head of the key. When you do this, you got to really crank down on the end. Don't be bashful. It won't hurt the tool. It's super strong. This thing's indestructible. All lightweight. This is aluminum here, and the insides are all metal. They're quite a beautiful tool. Nicely manufactured, knurled. You get it from Framon. So what are we doing with this tool today? Well, we're going to impression this key right here. And this is a process of creating a working key by making marks on a blank key and then filing it down based on these marks. So they're rub marks from the pins of the cylinder. So let's get into the show. Here's the setup. I think you're going to really like it. I spent a long time trying to figure out exactly how to show you all the marks. I have a magnifying tool from Amazon. I've got a vise where I'm going to slide the keys, and you'll be able to see, look at how cool this is. You'll be able to see the impressions on the key cuts. And basically this is the setup right here of the key. We're going to arrive at a 45214. That's exactly what the factory cut is on the keys. And then we're going to impression this key to go in this lock. It doesn't work right now, but these cuts right here on this key match that information, and you're going to really love how we do this. And oh yeah, that works. So I have to give you a great idea on how to use the Framon impressioning tool. They sent this to me to give it a go around, see how well it works, and I'm thinking it's really nice. It's a beauty. Comes in a box. So here's the box it comes in. Framon Manufacturing impressioning tool. IMMS001. So you'll get this box in the mail, and you'll have your beautiful anodized, knurled great tool. You won't have to do anything to it out of the box, but just put it in your hand and start impressioning. So let's go ahead and do that. But first I want to show you exactly what we're doing. So here is, and I'm going to put this in the description, exactly what we're doing. Hey Gemini, could you please read the text?
Absolutely. Here's the text from the image, transcribed for you. Impressioning, the process of creating a working key by making marks on a blank key and then filing it down based on those marks. Types of files. Pippin files, described as a versatile Swiss pattern file that combines features of round, crossing, and knife files. They are used for finishing junctions and opening V-shaped slots. Round files can also be used for impressioning. Impressioning techniques. Insert a blank key into the lock. Apply torque to bind the key. Move the key up and down under tension. File away the marks left by the key pins. Repeat until the correct key bitting, the pattern of cuts, is achieved. Overall, the document provides a basic overview of locksmithing techniques, particularly the use of different files in the impressioning process. This image provides specific tools and tips for the locksmithing technique of impressioning, building upon the previous information. Key points. Impressioning tools. Grobet Swiss pattern locksmith file, a specific brand and type of file used for impressioning. Lockvoy round impressioning files, another specific type of round file used for this purpose. Impressioning tips. Hold the blank key steady and upright. This ensures accuracy and prevents slippage. Direct the file perpendicular to the key. This helps create clean and precise cuts. Push the file away from the body, only along 2/3 of its length. This maximizes control and prevents overfiling. Smoothly lift the file at the end of the stroke. This helps create a smooth cut and prevents jagged edges. Rest the file tip on the initial mark or at the center point of the notch. This ensures the cut is made in the correct location and depth. This information is more practical and specific, offering guidance on the tools and techniques needed for successful key impressioning. It emphasizes precision and control, which are essential for this skill.
Now there you have it. Thank you, Gemini. And I'm going to put that down in the description. Maybe it'll be helpful. So let's go ahead and set up the camera so you can see this firsthand. Yeah. You don't want it like this. You want to get it flat on this surface and tighten it down. Like so. And boy, really crank it. This is the key we're going to use. I've already prepared it. So crank it. Once you've tightened it up, it won't slip because you're going to do a lot of work inside the cylinder. You're going to go from side to side and you're going to rock back and forth with this tool. And you don't have to go crazy with it, okay? You're not like trying to break that key off. You really aren't. When you have a great tool, you don't have to go insane trying to mark this. And when you have the right equipment, I mean really the right equipment, you can see close up the key and the impressions. So you're just trying to put rub marks on these cuts of the pins in the cylinder. There's the phone number. It's a great tool. Now guys, I prepped this key by cutting depths and spaces from my key machine, my ITL, which is a gray model 9700A. I have it all ceramic coated so all the chips fly off. That ceramic coating is worth its weight in gold. Only took me like 2 hours to pull this whole machine apart and ceramic coat, and all the chips just fly off like nothing. So that's how I prep the key with these cuts. You'll really do yourself a favor if you can do that, because it'll be a lot easier to know exactly where the spaces are. You're not going to believe this. My microphone was not plugged in. I did this entire video and had no audio. How crazy. So I'm starting over. This might be a good thing. We're going to talk about using files to hard impression keys so we can open up locks. That's Locksport stuff and also Locksmith stuff. Now I'm going to show you, by use of this cutaway lock, how this is done. So here's a key already cut. So that's what we're going to do with a file. Now there are certain files, we'll talk about this pretty soon, but let me just show you the insides of how this is going to work. So here's the lock, and you see the pins right here. Now there's no key in it, but when you stick a key in it, it pushes the pins up to the shear line when it's cut. Push in the hasp to get it to lock. Turn the key. All right, now, as you can see, they're all at the shear line. And when I say shear line, that's all cut right there, right there, right there, all at a shear line. That's what we want to do when we impression our key. We want to get those pins to go to the shear line. But how you impression is you stick in a blank key after you've taken a flat file and made it all one direction, so you get a nice view of a flat surface. These keys have a finish on them that you have to fix. So you're going to take a file and you're going to run it over, and you're going to pick up your file, you're going to shove it forward and then pick up. Forward, pick up. You don't go back and forth when you're impressioning. And then when you do that, you see that nice finish? That's going to allow us to rub the pins against the key. Now these brass pins right here are hitting the surface of the key. And we have to get those things to bind. And how you bind a pin is you turn it hard. And then you rock up and down. So the tolerances in this particular cylinder are pretty tight. I can't rock that key up and down like I really want to. So then you turn it to the other direction, you get the pins to bind, and you rock the key up and down. Now when I pull this out, it actually will take the pins and they will slide across the surface of the key and kind of wreck my impressioning. But can we see with the naked eye some marks? You really can't. Maybe one right there. Well, that would give us a start. But let me tell you, you need a tool. You need to be able to crank it sideways and rock up and down with some force. You don't want to do it too hard and snap the key head off, but you do need a tool. So in using your hand, it's really not going to work. And you would have to put this in a vise and hold on to it and really rock up and down. So there's the main idea. You want to rub the pins on the surface of the key. All right, with that out of the way, you could use a tool like this. You could grab the head of the key, you could lock it down and do it this way. But that's going to want to turn, and it's not really going to want to hold it. You get a massive one of these. These are like needle nose, but hard to do what we want it to do, this hard impressioning. We want it to impression the key without a lot of effort involved. So what we use, I'll show you the tools of the trade now, so to speak. If this really is a trade, I don't know. So what I did was I took my key machine, I cut the spaces on the key. You see those cuts? So I already prepped the key, and we're going to be using a Schlage SC1 5-pin. So you can count the cuts right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've already prepped up some keys. Now you can buy these from the internet already pre-prepped. Now they're at 0. So no matter what I file, there won't be any marks that will be affected by me cutting this key at 0 on my key machine. Because 0 is the starting point with a pin in the SC1 world. This tool is from Framon Manufacturing. There's the model, IMMS001 impressioning tool. And I've got it cranked up so tight right now, guys, and I don't want to loosen this, but you unloosen back here and that spreads these teeth apart. And he has set screws here, and it says do not mess with the set screws. He's already got them out far enough. I think he's afraid you're going to snap them off. But you have to crank this beyond your wildest dreams to hold on to this key, because you're going to go up and down in this cylinder. I don't want to do it just yet because I want to impression on a key, on this key. So there's the first tool, made by Framon Manufacturing. Then you're going to need a flat file, which is this side right here. And you'd probably want a fine file, real fine. This is finer than this grit. A number 4 is really what you want. This is probably a number 2. This is a number 4, so we're going to pitch out the number 2, and we'll go to 4. Then you're going to need a impressioning file. Now this is already been used. Like I say, I did my whole video without sound. I am so sick about that, guys, but maybe this will turn out better. Who knows? This is from HPC. It is a round file. You can use round, or what I highly suggest, this file right here from Amazon. It is a teardrop file. Beautiful file from Amazon. Look at that. When I say teardrop, there's the shape. So you're going to basically cut on the key with the roundy part, the teardrop, and then it will allow you to tilt this file side to side so that you don't get a straight up and down cut. You don't want that. We call that hook. It'll lock inside of the cylinder, and you won't be able to get the key out while you're impressioning, and that'll be really a bummer. So there you have it. You have the tools. I think, well, I didn't mention the most important thing. There is a tool in this arsenal that is called a key gauge. I gotta sneak in here. Hey, I rethought this. This idea is really, well, wait till the end, I'll show you what I mean. If you don't have a key gauge, you're going to have to buy one. I mean, you can use veneer calipers, but this key gauge will tell you the depths exactly. So like I said, we started with 0, which is right there. So let's see if that's true. Remember, we've got to cut with a file, a rough cut, to achieve these depths in order to get through the lock. So let's see if 0 is cut into our key. It is. So you're starting out with 0. All these are zeros. If you don't have this, you can't really impression without this. This gauge is vital. What a blunder. Now, stay till the end. I'll explain why. Oh, you're gonna freak. And then another tool is, well, let me just show it to you. So the other tool is what you see in front of your eyeballs. You see the cuts on the key? Here it is, right here. I'm sticking it on a little apparatus I kind of built so I could show you easily how you can see the impressions on a key. Now you notice the cut here is 0 and it barely got through the surface of that rough key. But it's enough. But look at how beautiful you can see this stuff. And this is a magnifying apparatus from Amazon. And I'll leave a link down there. I think I would get a screen that's already built on it because this acquires my phone and a piece of software, an app. Isn't that cool? Now you're going to see the value in having a magnifying piece of equipment. You could use a magnifying glass. They've used magnifying glasses with lights and stuff. I mean, in a pinch, this will work. But if you're going to do this for fun and you want to see exactly how to impression a key, highly suggest you pick up one of these $70 magnifiers. You can spend a lot of money on them, but I mean, this one's working. So you need a magnifier, and also you got to have a pick, is because you got to count how many pins are in this lock. And you can feel them, and you're going to just count them as you pull out of the cylinder here. And you're going to count, and you're going to see if all 5 pins are in there. What if it was a 6-pin lock and you're going to all this trouble and you got the wrong key? Because that's an SC4. And so you're impressioning, but you never get the last pin. That would be a bummer, right? So you're going to use a pick. That's my tip of the day. You got to have a pick. Some kind. I mean, this is a very fancy Jimmy Long's standard hook. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's do this thing. First, we're going to... Oh, I almost forgot. I changed the pins inside this cylinder to nickel. Big mistake. I could not see them on the key. So I just changed them back with my lab kit to brass. Okay? Let's see if it does better. So hopefully the video will even be better because I repinned this. So I guess what we've learned from that tip of the day, if you peer into the cylinder and you see really shiny, like a white silver color, you're going to have a harder time impressioning. You want brass. Okay, here we go. Stick it in. You turn kind of hard and you go up and down. You're trying to take advantage of the play inside this cylinder. I'm going the other way, up and down, up and down. Now you're going to see the value of having some pre-cut keys with the spaces, because this is very hard to see. The pin scrapings is what we're doing here. We'll go back and forth like this. You need to kind of be vigorous, okay? I was too light-handed the first round, so maybe it's good you don't get to see that. I think with practice, you're going to get better at this, okay? This is a seldom done thing, but it was fun, I must admit. I had a blast. All right, now you're going to pull out. Now when I pulled out, it kind of scraped across the surface. Can you see any marks? Oh, I see them all. I see every mark, but it's kind of hard to see without a magnifying glass, guys. Let me get my glasses up here. Can you see that? Why is this out of focus? There we go. So I see a mark right there and there. I see a couple marks. Mark there and there. Now let's get our killer magnifying glass involved. You're going to see why you need this. So here you can't see anything really. So you got to be able to tip back and forth. I see a rub mark, and we'll look at this from the tip point of view, way out here. So from the tip, I see a mark on the tip. I see a mark on the second cut from the tip, and the third cut, and I guess a rub on the fourth, and definitely on the fifth. Look at this. There is a little teeny rub mark. Wow, that's kind of hard to see with. All right, there's a rub mark right there on the key. See it? All right, so that means every one of them got to be filed down to a number 2. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Now, I do not have a Pippin file. It's on order right now. I expected it to arrive from Amazon today, but I don't have it. Here's what I've come up with, and I think it's the easiest to be able to do this. You see this clamp? This is $6 from Amazon. It might be 8, but I don't know. It's holding your Framon hand tool. What I see is a lot of guys trying to hold on to this. They hold the tip down and they get crazy working this thing, and it just is not good. It really isn't. So you need a vise. It holds it nice and firm, and this will fit right on your pinning setup here. And oh, I forgot to tell you, here's my cheat sheet today. These are the cuts. It's a number 4, a 5, a 2, a 1, a 1. So we're at zeros right now, and a 4. So if I go past any of these cuts, the depths, with my file, I'm ruined. the key will not turn. That's why you have to have a gauge, guys. You have to bring it to the appropriate depth until you don't see your mark, or barely the mark changes. So I'm going to leave the cheat sheet right here because I want to have success, okay? But imagine you don't have a key. Would you walk up to an opening and try to impression? If you are a super sleuth impressioner, hard key impressioner, I guess you would. But more than likely, what you'll do, just so you know, is you will use a tool like this, a leashy pick. You will get the bitting off of that pick and you'll cut a key. That's how you'll do it. Or you'll pick the thing open and then pull the whole thing apart, measure the pins, and you will be able to achieve wonderfulness by cutting them a key to match. Hard impressioning is for the fun lock sport in you. I suggest you do it. It's easy to get involved in it. I've got another holder from another company, ProLock, half the price of this, and it will do the same thing. Half the price from ProLock. But this is beautiful. Look at the quality here. All anodized, all knurled. I mean, this really is a work of art. And ProLock's is not. So it depends on how cool you want to be, right? If you want to be with the cool guys and you go on some meet and you're doing some impressioning, I think you're going to want the Framon model. All right, let's go ahead and file these. I'll show you how difficult this is to do with an HPC file. Oh, I wished I had that file from another company. Grow Bay. Oh, it's Italian file. Oh, I wish I had it. Okay, here we go. Let's go ahead and start. Now, got my microphone. Everything's cool. So I know the spaces. I push down and I'm going to push forward. There's one. I'm going to do it on every one of them. There's one. There's one. And out here by the tip, there's one. Now we're going to take our gauge. You'll see why you need this. We do not want to go past a number 1 cut. We're still at 0. Oh, by the way, I pushed my finger across this and cut my finger the other day. You're going to push really hard with some little teeny toy like this, HPC. This thing is, I mean, really, come on. Look at this. It's teeny weeny weeny. It's the only toy I have in town. So I might just show you what you probably don't want to use. But it's a tool I have at hand right now. So you notice the chips here, they're barely building up. I'm still not there. I need to be to number 1. Now, you notice when I'm filing, I'm flexing this key a lot. That's why I'm so glad I have this vise. Let's check it out here. Number 2. Number 1. I'm trying to achieve a number 1. Oh, hold on. Am I at 1? I am at 1, guys. I'm at 1. Oh. Don't go past 1, Walker. All right. Let me tell you why. Are you noticing this? If I go past 1, I've ruined the key because the second from the tip is a number 1. That's why you got to really be careful how much you file away. If you don't use your gauge, you're ruined, guys. Do not do half gauge cuts or 2 spaces at a time, 2 depth spaces, because if you do, you may have just wrecked the key. So this is kind of fun. I'm explaining a lot, but you notice how easy that was to do. We're going to stick it back in the cylinder and we're going to impression again. So wiggle, wiggle. Got to get the pins to bind. I think no one's explained that very well. When you bind up the pins are going to really scratch if you wiggle up and down. Boy, there's not much play in this cylinder, guys. Binding. I had to set my camera way high. I wished I didn't, guys. I know that's not really fair to you. The magnifying glass, I'm hoping it gives you a good idea what's going on. I usually get closer on this subject, but I can't really do it. I could snap that head off with this beautiful handle from Framon, but I'm not going to do that. So wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hopefully these brass pins work well, and I pulled it out. Now I'm almost straight up and down. That had a hard time coming out, but notice how easy I cut that key. Oh, and if you're watching for the first time, you can take a file. PJ at COK Supply, he filed his keys to a point, both sides, and the impressioning is easier. It might be what we're going to do. Let's see if I got some kind of marks. I'm seeing marks on everything. Well, let's check. We'll put it in the stand, and now we'll take a very close look. You have to be able to tilt the key from side to side. So I see an impression right here on number 1. When we call it number 1, that's the closest to the shoulder. So there's the shoulder, and there's number 1. This is very hard to set this whole thing up for you guys to be able to see this. I've never seen a video where they actually explain this well. They jump off the subject real quick because they're afraid to spend a lot of your time. But I think it's important. Now I see the marks on this when I tilt way far. I see that mark right there. Can you see the mark? You're going backwards when you're doing these things. There's a mark right there, guys. It's up on top, but I can see it. So what you're going to do is you're going to file the marks you can see. Okay? So the marks you can see is the ones you want to file. So I can definitely, oh, wait. I can definitely see that mark right there? It's right there. I can see it. Maybe this is a better way to show it. Right there. See that whole roundy mark? Well, that's the pin. And I can see a mark, half a mark here. Let's get this to... Oh, and I can see a mark right here. So my best mark let's take a real good look. My best mark is the third one down. I'm going to cut that to the next depth, the third one down. Maybe I'll get it to bind better, okay? Because they're all kind of not binding. We got to get some pins to bind nice and tight. So let's go ahead and cut the third from the shoulder back here. 1, 2, 3. Let's do that. Third one down, we're going to bring down the next depth. We're at number 1 right now. Get the key nice and flat. I don't want to file sideways. I want it nice and flat. And when I push, I go one direction up, because you want to leave a nice flat surface that the pin will leave an impression. This is a number 4 file. You want a number 4. Takes longer, but it will be worth your while. I'm going to bring it down to a number 2. 1, 2. Now we'll test. I think I can leave that in there. Number 2, third one down. I'm not there yet. One, 2, 3, and one there, and one there. You know, if it goes past number 2, which, let's see the cut on this. That's a number 2, guys. If I go past 2, I have really ruined myself because the key won't work. I have a cheat sheet, but you know, I want you to see how this really should be done by using these gauges. This gauge is so important. I'm not there yet. 1, 2. There we go. I'm almost there. All right, let's see. No, I'm not there yet. A lot of filing going on here. Let's check it again. Notice the cut there. Quite a bit of difference. I do not want to be past 2. Oh, I hope I didn't wreck this thing. No, I didn't. I'm at 2. I'm just at 2. So that is a correct cut. But notice the hook. This is so important. If you guys mess up here, here's what can happen. If you don't have a really great file, like that Pippin file, Italian Pippin file from Amazon, if you use a round file, I mean, some guys like round file. I don't know why they would. You got to clean this off before you ever stick it in that cylinder. Notice the cuts are a hook. So if I put this inside that cylinder, I will never get it out. You need a file that has no cuts on one side, and I gotta turn this on an angle each side of that file mark that I just left, because let me show you how a real key looks. They're angled. See the angles? They come to a peak, but they are definitely deep angles. That allows the pin to ride its way off the key. These angles, see, I can float. But if I try it with my key, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. I'm stuck, and I'd really be stuck. So you'd be stuck inside your cylinder and you just wouldn't be able to get it fixed. You might have to destroy the cylinder to get it out, those pins. I'm going to sit down to do this. Everybody says you should have extra keys, probably a good idea. I forgot to tell you, what you really need is something to brush your key off. After all your work, you do not want to jam up your cylinder so that nothing works right. So now I've just filed that off. You see the angles now? Now everybody knows you don't take a key with a bunch of chips on it and shove it back in a cylinder. So make sure you get all your chips off. Pretty much. There's a little burr right there. See that burr? Okay, let's try it. Almost hooked, guys. You see how that kind of caught? It's okay, but if I had a bunch of chips in there, we'd have been up a creek. All right, so let's go ahead. We're going to stick it in, turn it, bind, bind, bind. Come on, bind, guys. I hope it binds. Bind, bind, bind. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now, if you bend sideways, you're going to snap the head off. I'm putting a lot of pressure on it. If I didn't have a Framon tool, or maybe a Pro Lock, which is the best I can see for the money in comparison. Other guys have made some knockoff stuff, but Pro Lock and Framon are top in the world. Ah, let's hope I've left some impression marks. We're going to look under the magnifying glass. All right, let's do that. Oh, we got all the goodies today. What a show. Please hit that like button, guys. Well, it looks like we're looking for a mark of a pin. And that HPC file is just such a bummer. Oh, there's a mark. I see it right there. Let's take a look at that. Can't be sure. Oh, I see one down here. The second one down, I see a mark. Let's turn it a little bit. Got to tilt. Ooh, and the third one down. Is that our cut? It sure is. So I probably, the third one down from the tip. See, that mark is pretty evident. Third one down, I can see that for sure. So you know what I would do? I would probably ruin the key, because I would start filing on that spot. So maybe the answer here, just so you know, is to file the ones you really see. I see one, I see number 2. Let's see, number 2. Let's take a look at this. Number 2 from the tip is a number 1. And I definitely see that mark. Oh no, that's the peak. Okay. Oh boy, it's hard to see these things. All right, number 1 at the tip, I see the mark. I see it. See it right there? Right there by the camera thing. All right, we're going to do number 1. I know that's safe, so let's do it. I'm cheating a lot here by knowing the cut of the key. Don't hate me for it. I want to show you exactly the tools of the trade you're going to need, right? So let's do the very tip. We're going to bring it down to the next depth. So at this point we just need our roundy file and my depth gauge. And naturally my Framon tool. So I get this nice and straight. And I go 1, 2. We were at number 1 on all of them, okay, except this other one I cut down to number 2. No, I'm still at number 1. You got to kind of remember what you're doing. It'll take some more practice. All right, I want to get to number 2. I have to keep setting down and standing up because my camera's so high. Okay, I'm at number 2, guys. So let's see our cut. That's actually going to be a number 4. So the next one, you know, I wonder, what if I'm marking this key with this gauge? Oh my goodness. I might be marking the key with the gauge. Oh no. Hey, put down in the comment section if that's what you think I'm doing. I might be doing it. And then when I stick this down there, I'm seeing my mark from the steel. Oh man. Hey, I might have just discovered a flaw. You know what would solve the flaw? Guess what solves the flaw? Vernier caliper. Digital vernier caliper. If you take and hold that and don't wiggle, you're going to get the exact depths. Guys, I think I discovered a problem that I was doing. This would give us the exact depths of the cut. And so I've already made that plain on this paper. Let me grab my bigger sheet. So underneath each depth is the width of the bottom of the key to the bottom of the cut. This is how we're going to do it from now on. I think I just found an error in maybe 90% of everybody doing this. My go-to guy on the internet said use a depth gauge. Well, guess what? He's wrong. When you put the depth gauge in and you do this by sliding, you put a mark on the key. Well, I'll be blown over. I can't believe it. So don't use the depth gauge. I'm telling you, you have to, and don't do it. Use a vernier caliper. You can get these from Amazon for about 40, 50 bucks. You're going to need one. All right, let's check our first cut depth. Oh, man. Gotta be careful here. So if it's a number 1, it should be a 320. Yep, look at that. With a file, I hit it right on the money. So the second one should be a 320. Ooh, a little deep there. Ooh. All right, then the third one should be, well, let's see what it is. A 290. So a 290 is a number 3. So the third one, 290, a number 3. Look at, I've already went over with the depth gauge. The third cut, a 290, a 285. Well, it's not too bad. It's best to have a vernier caliper. So let's check this first cut. So that's a 280. So a 280 is Is it really 280? 290. Okay, 290 is a number 3. And let's just, for fun, see if that gauge actually was telling me the truth. No, it was saying it was 2, guys. Don't use a gauge. Use veneer calipers. 290 is a number 3. Okay, figured it all out. Why they're getting false marks on keys. They're using a depth gauge. You want to use veneer calipers. Preferably plastic veneer calipers. These have carbide teeth, so they're going to really put a mark, maybe. You wouldn't want to rock this while you're doing it, which I was doing. All right. So we know we're at 1 depth further, a number 3. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to touch every one of these surfaces to get them cleaned up. Okay? I think that makes sense. I hope this is being helpful. Please smash, 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 smash that like button. Please. All right, I'm going to clean this up. Just hair. Okay, just enough to get that veneer caliper off of there, and also that depth gauge. It's no good to mankind. I'm barely pushing on that, guys. All right, so I cleaned it up. And also, you know what? When you use one of these files, you have to have that teardrop file from Italy. Because even using this file here, that is roundy here, I'm leaving a mark when I straighten that up. Good learning curve. So I won't touch the bottom. Maybe I will, because it's kind of hard to do freehand. I'll do all one side first. And then tip it the other way. See why you really need that Grow Bay file from Amazon. This is bad. When you push that Grow Bay in there, that teardrop, you're going to get your expanded part of your cut from the file. Man, maybe it's good I did run out of sound. Is this helpful? Give me the high five, yeah! All right, we're going to test this key out now. Okay, here we go. Let's look. Do we have any hooks? I don't see any. We'll find out in about 4 seconds. Oh, the key comes out. All right, now, turn sideways. Boy, I learned some lessons here today. What have we learned? Don't use the depth gauge. That metal leaves a mark. Makes sense, right? And what else? Oh, your file. If you're turning the peaks so you have no hooks, you can leave a mark down there too. And also, you better have one of these tools. Okay, let's take a look. We're going to look real close, okay? Oh, I love this veneer caliper. Michi Toyo to the rescue. Okay, here we go. You know, I think I can adjust this a little better. Oh, that's much better. Let's change the lighting a little bit. I'm liking that a little better. I definitely see a mark right there on the number 1. Well, it's really the 5th cut, but the number 1 from the tip. I definitely see a mark there. Not quite sure if I see a mark on the 2nd cut. The closest to the tip. Okay, we know that has to go. Now let's measure it. .282. 282. So 282. That's between a 3 and a 4. 282 is between a 3 and a 4. So 282 would be not 275. We need to be at a 4 on that tip, right? Because that's what it says, 4. So let's go ahead, bring it to a number 4. Let's see how much we take off each and every time we scrape across there. 275. Oh, that's right on the money. 275. So that's a number 4, 275. We have to be right there on 275 because number 4 by the tip is 275, and then we got a 1. A number 1 would be 320. So let's check that out if it's 320. Yeah, it's below 320. Oh my. Okay, so let's go ahead and test it again. Make sure I don't have any hook. I do not want a hook. Even shaving off the tips, not a bad idea. In fact, maybe marking the tips with black will keep you from getting disguised here from what you're trying to see. We'll see if that helps. So we don't want to look at any of those black marks. Those are the peaks. Oh, man. I want to destroy everything. I'm looking through the top of the camera and it throws your judgment off. All right, I stick it in. I wiggle it back and forth. Now I know I'm not to the right cut, or otherwise the key would turn. This is actually a lot of fun. Get to use some rough tools, right? Cool stuff. Framon to the rescue. Okay, let's see if I did any damage. Oh, my black marks are still there. Good. I won't look at those. I'm not going to bother to look through my naked eye. It's too hard to see. All right, let's take a look here. You know, the cool thing is I can change the resolution here. Let's see. Let's go up to the highest resolution. And we're going to go. Ooh, ooh. What have I just done? That looks pretty good. All right. the closest cut is right there. You know, I don't see any mark. Ooh, this has a hesitation now. Oh, I do see a mark. See that mark? Look at that. I see it right there. It's right in the center. I'm going to file that one. I'm going to go with the easy stuff first, okay? Let's go for the low-hanging fruit. I see a mark on the closest to the head of the key. So we're going to file that bad boy. Okay, let's do that mark. I'm going to tighten this up. So I want to bring that down one more depth. So let's check the depth. The depth is 316. 316 is a number below the number 1. So we got to go to number 2, okay? 305. 1, 2. 305 is what we're trying to achieve. Whoa, you see that? Guys, 300, 305. So I took off within just one little scoop. I took off more than I needed to. Kind of got to watch that. You know, I guarantee you I was putting a mark with this. I was pushing down on that bottom. All right, we're going to angle it. I don't have to really angle this direction first, but why not? Okay, I got that pretty angled. I think what I'll do is I'll hit those high points again, the peaks, so I don't get mixed up here. It's hard to see. Should have a marker with you. Now you can see I can't really tell anything by looking with the naked eye. And this camera is slightly under magnification, number 9. But we'll pull this out and we'll stick it on my fancy magnifying glass. See it? All the peaks there. Now let's go ahead and test it out in the tool. Stick it in. Does it come out? Yep. All right. Go sideways. I'm turning clockwise, kind of hard. I'm wiggling. I want to get some binding pins. I'm not to the right depths on this thing yet, but I'm getting closer. All right, I think I got it. Ooh, I see a definite mark on the closest cut to the shoulder. Let's take a look real close, guys. Isn't this fun? I'm having a blast. I don't know if you guys are, but I am. Oh yeah. Closest cut. Oh, I see it. So simple. I see it. Let me point it out to you. It's right there. So I'm going for the low-hanging fruit. Oh, wow. I can't see any marks on anything else. So let's hit this. One more depth on the closest to the shoulder. So we are at 299. We're at 300 thousandths. And we need, so that would be, should be a 2. So well, what? Let's see. Should go down to the 3. We got to go down to the 3. Okay? down to the 3. Here we go. One, 2. Number 3 should be 290. Are you having fun? Hit that like button if you are. 390, sure enough. Well, wait a minute. Did I say 390 or 290? 290, 290. So we're right at 3 on 2. We're a little low. So we're saying that's cool, right? Yeah. And I'm going to get some of the burrs off of that. Okay, got the burrs off. Now let's take this bad boy and stick it in the cylinder again. We don't have any hook there. Comes in and out nice. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Up and down. This vise is PanaVice. I modified it considerably. Put different pads on it. It's as strong as an ox. Okay, for this type of thing, you need a PanaVice or a big working vise. But PanaVice will take it out in the field. I'm going to really try to mark, okay? We'll go crazy with this. I'm liking it. Okay. Let's see if we got any marks. All right, here we go. Here's our camera. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to mark the peaks on this because I'm getting kind of mixed up. So if I mark the peaks, everybody says don't mark the key depths because you can't really see them. But nobody said mark the peaks. But we know we're not cutting into that, and we know the pins are not rubbing on that spot. So let's put this back under the microscope. You ever think you'd be seeing a microscope today? This is so cool. So all the black spots we don't even look at. Eliminate the obvious. Tilt, tilt, tilt. Now what I'm honing my eyeballs in on is this cut right here. I see a mark. I see a mark right there, guys. See it? I see a mark right there. Do I see a mark right there? I do not see a mark. That's just the roughness of the file. Okay, so oh man, I almost knocked my light down. That'll be twice. Okay, I'm gonna file 1 and 2. 1 and 2. So 1 and 2, definitely, they do have to be cut, guys, because they're 4 and 5. 1 and 2 are 4 and 5. So I'm going to bring them all down one more depth. Here we go. One more depth. One more depth. 1. And 1. I'm pushing really hard. So let's check. That's 284. So 284 is still not 275. And the next one is 307, 305. So I have not achieved one more depth. If you're keeping track, I am keeping track. 278. 278 is still not number 4, because number 4 is 275. So I have not achieved that number 4 depth, which was the next one down from the 3. And 302, I have definitely achieved that mark. 302. So I'm below it. So I'm enough on that second cut, but the first one, I haven't done it yet. Oh, I wish I had that killer file from Amazon. All right, I bet you I got it. A round file is leaving round cut. 279, so that 279. 279. You mean I haven't achieved it yet? 270. Oh yeah, definitely. Woo! One swipe and I almost wrecked it. 5,000 is going to kill us though. All right. Now I got to get this angle. I'm going to dress every one of them up, just slightly. I want to give something for that pin to rub against. All I'm doing is dressing them up. Hey, I hear them singing. It's kind of whistling. All right. I think we're cool on that. And then I'm going to take a little brush here. Oh. All right, we're going to put our peaks back on. It's like on a mountain, a peak. Now, if you're doing this for a living, you are losing some money right now. But if you're doing this for fun, you are having a blast. The kids are to bed, and you're sitting in your little workshop, and you're having a blast. And your wife knows you're happy in your little workshop. All right, so we're going to turn to the right. We're binding the pins. Turn to the left. Binding back and forth. They really say work it. I do not want to snap the head off of this. If I push from side to side, I will snap the head off. And they said, you know, you wreck a cylinder. I don't think so. If you don't push no dirt in there, I mean, what's the difference between one key from the other? Okay. Now let's check it under the microscope. Here we go. Oh, I definitely cannot tell where the peak's at. Let's do that again. So we don't want this. We don't want that. I don't think anybody said to do the marks that you don't want. Some guys say you use smoke, and that might be cool. So I colored all the spots I don't want. You can definitely see the spots I don't want. Oh man, can you see that? Oh, this is easy. I can see a mark right there, guys. Mark right there. I see it. You see the mark? It's obvious to me. There's a line right here. And that's the second cut. There's a line. I'm going to do that one. I don't know. I can see it. It's my indentation on the back side. You know, maybe that's what we're looking for. There's nothing down here. It's on the back side, and it's right on that corner. So I'm going to say leave that sucker alone. Leave that one alone. So I'm going to do this mark right here. The second cut in. Maybe. Let me measure that. Second cut in is 298. 298. Yeah, almost 300. So we are between 300 and 290. So I haven't even got down to the 3 yet. Second cut. We got to bring it to a 4. But we'll bring it to the 3 first. Don't want to go on angles or you're going to make it look crazy. Second cut. 281 now. 281. 281, really? No, 285. So 285. Now I'm below the 3. So I'd say stop. Stop. Don't do no more. Let's go ahead and test it out again. Stick it back in. Maybe. Let's check and make sure I don't have a hook. Well, I might be starting. We'll feel it. Don't hook up on me. Oh. Yeah, got a hook. So let's fix that. Man. This is like an 85 Rockwell. That's the strength of it all. Okay. Comes in and out good. All right, rock, 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 back and forth. Up and down, up and down. Nice, isn't it? Isn't this fun? Aren't you having a blast? All right, pull it out. Let's do the peaks again. My marker's drying out. Uh-oh, marker's drying out. Get a new marker. Okay. I think we got that. All right, let's test it under the microscope. Isn't this cool? Uh-oh. I see a mark definitely on number 1. Number 1 Oh, I definitely see a mark on number 2. When I say 1, I'm saying from the shoulder. Imagine the key's like this. It's like that. So the very first cut is a number 1. And then you got 2, 3, 4, and 5. I keep smashing my microscope. I see a mark on number 1, guys. I can see it easily. I see a mark on number 2. See a mark on number 1 easily. So let's check number 1's depth. It's 270. So number 1 is 270. That's a number 4. If we go any deeper, we've ruined it. Could I have a false mark? I wish I'd quit doing that. I'm going to do it one more time. Clean everything off. Why not? I bet you that's how you should do it. Now, I'm barely taking anything, guys. I'm just shining that up. Let's see if I remove the marks. Yes, I did. I don't see any marks on anything. Tilt it. No marks. All right, let's try it. Let's shove it back in here. All right. Wiggle, wiggle. You know, maybe the guys that do this, they might say, hey, he's not moving that enough. Could really be crazy. Okay, let's mark the tops again. This will really tell it. I got a fresh start. The valleys, or the depth of the cut, was cleaned up. I'm marking these peaks so we don't get confused. And if you don't have a nice magnifying glass, you're not doing this. So you're going to have to break it to your kids that no shoelaces this year. Alright, let's see. First cut. Nothing on the first cut. Nothing on the second cut. Not seeing nothing on the third. Nothing on the fourth. I do see something on the tip. Maybe. Get that back. No, I don't see anything on the tip. So I'm not, well, wait a minute. Let's see the second one. Third one. I'm going to write down these measurements right now so we don't mess it up. Let me write them down. How can I do this? All right, made a rough draft here of the key. So now, can't really hurt anything because I have no marks there. So the first cut is a 267. So what number would that be? 267 would be a 4. So the first cut is a 4. First cut is a 4. The second cut is 283. 283. 283. The second cut is 283. This might be where we're getting a mark. 284, 282, 282. Yeah, we're between a 3 and a 4. That's why we're getting a mark. 280. So we're 4.5. 4 1/2. So that one's definitely got to go down. We did have a mark there. So let's get the second one. $282. Wait, gotta get the third one. 281. Third one is 281. 281. That's a 3. 281. Oh no, did we already ruin it? I think we ruined the key. $282. Well, it's a -3. So we got 3. We'll say minus. Rats. I must have filed it. I'm shocked, to be honest with you. Okay, the next one is 305. 305, that's a number 2. And the next one is 270. That's that last cut. 270 is a 4. -4. So there's our cuts right now. And they're supposed to be a 4, a 5, a 2, a 1, and a 4. So number 2 should be a 1. See, I've already messed it up. So this one's too deep. I thought I was right on the money. I never filed it past that first time I did it. So that was when I was using that gauge. 308. 308. 308. It's a number 2. It's between a 2 and a 1. Oh, life. Okay, let's go ahead and check it out again. We'll see if we can get one mark. One mark might save us. It would be the second from the head. That actually would do it. Second from the head. We see a mark. We'll pretend that we don't know what the key bitting is and don't get depressed. The second mark, here's the head of the key. The second should have, there is a mark there. You see the mark? Obviously see it. It's right there. So let's cut that down We'll cut it down. And we're saying we don't need to cut it down much. It is 286. We need to go down. 286. $275, $274. That's perfect. That's a number 4. And what is it supposed to be? The second mark is supposed to be a 5, guys. So we're right on 272. We're just a hair tall on 272. I'm going to take these angles. I do not want to get jammed in this cylinder. If I get jammed, we're ruined. Okay, now let's dress everything up just slightly, okay? We're just shining it up, be like sandpaper. Bind to the right, to the left, wiggle up and down, wiggle up and down, pull it out, stick it under the microscope, and let's see if we can see a mark closest to this shoulder. Definitely see a mark on the second cut. Let's see if I can true this up a little bit. Definitely see the mark. Oh, look at that. Easily seen. So let's go ahead and file that down. I've went for the low-hanging fruit each and every time. So let's get this down to where we think the next measurement should be. And that would be a 5. $265. So we still got to go down. We have not wrecked it yet. 265. Got to get it to 260. Where I already got it, 256. Let's clean it up, because that's definitely got a hook on there now. I don't think we have any hooks. No, did not get it. So let's check our measurements again. The first one is 267. It is supposed to be a number 4, 267, so we are deep on the first cut. The second cut is 256. 256 should be a 5. We're deep on the second cut. The next one is supposed to be, let's see, this is 281. Should be a number 2. Oh my goodness, the third cut in is a number 2, and we are at 280. We ruined it with the second cut. Rats! Let's look at the key against it. I'm gonna have to take it out of here. Very close, very close. Very close. Wow. Very close. Isn't that cool? It looks really close. I wonder if that angle right there is creating the problemo. Let's try filing that way and see if we get through this cylinder. See how that cranks on there? I'm not going to do anything freehand because it's just too difficult. Ooh, got it cranked in sideways. Got to get that head back. All right, we're going to put this back on a different angle. You know, it's odd. I don't know how I got it deeper than what I was supposed to. Get all these tips off of here. And I'm going to just touch these again. Do you think just doing that, just touching it, has brought it down? I mean, the only thing I can say is that's what I've been doing. I can hear you out there. Yeah, that's what's happening. You might be right. Oh, let's see if it opens it. Now I want to make sure I got all the crud out of here. Off all that crud. Come on, open up. Not even close. Oh, this is sad. Not even close. Well, under close investigation, the last 3 cuts are too deep. That's really what wrecked it. So we're not going to get success here tonight. I wish I could say I had success on this, but I don't. Let me run it through a key machine and see if I can save face here. I have it in my ITL. I've got the information in there. We'll push code. It's supposed to be a 45214. That is the key. 45214. I've got the key in here. Let's push cut and hear if we even cut on this key. So we're going to push cut. Oh. Yep, there's 2 cuts. 2 cuts. 2 cuts close as the tip are too deep. Let's get this. They're too deep. They didn't touch at all, guys. The other ones were perfect. So that's our problemo. We're too deep. No success. Sad. Nope, the key does not work. The 2 cuts from the tip are too deep. So what's the moral of the story? I need to use the Pippin file. Here's our problemo. A round file. It's junk. Don't use an HPC round file. That's my summation of the situation. Please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Don't always have success, but I am going to use a Pippin file the next time. I'm leaving this setup and I'm going to shoot another video. Hang tight. We're going to have a number 2. Well, we'll say the second video. How about that? In this series, I guess, now. I wish it was exact. Please hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel. But you just got to see what others don't. It looks close, but it's not. It's not. This key is slightly deeper. Look at how much little we're talking here. We're talking that second cut, or wait, the third cut from the tip. It's definitely, oh, and the second cut as well. So the second and third cut killed this key. Okay, please hit that like button, subscribe. We'll have more fun coming your way. And I will use a Pippin file from a company called Grobe. Thanks again, guys. We'll see you on the next video. Hard impressioning keys. Pippin file. Well, there you guys have it. I hope you enjoyed this show. Please smash, 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 smash that like button. Tell your friends, and I'll have more door and lock tips like this hard impressioning tool from Framon Manufacturing coming your way in the future. Yeah!